Yes. And we are currently on hiatus until August, but anytime Jose Prendez says, hey, we want to talk, and we may or may not be held in contempt at gunpoint, we typically break hiatus and come talk. It's a good thing that one of our members in this podcast today plays a detective. So that is good for us. We have the law on our side. We are chatting with the director and the cast of the newly released film on VOD, Morgan Killer Doll. We want to take an opportunity and have everyone introduce themselves, the part they play, and just, say hi to everyone. We'll start off with Jose.
Well, thank you guys for having me back. I'm honored that you call me an honorary third member of your team. That's incredible. Thank you very much. I'm humbled. I'm the writer director of Morgan Killer Doll. It is out now on VOD and it'll be in theaters next week, so June 20th. It'll be playing select theaters for about a week.
Anyone else want to jump in, say hi, or should we like corporate popcorn it to someone? Like, don't.
Yeah,
Looks
I'll
like
go.
Adam's
I'll
ready.
go. As one of the other old people, I figured I'd go next. My name is Adam Slevin. I'm playing Detective Harry. I bring, as Nino put it, a little law and order to this film, and it goes super well for me. So great.
It goes so well for you in the movie.
So well. Yeah.
Like you make it to the end.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
It's 15. Who else
Shut
we
up!
got? Oh my gosh. Anyways, sorry,
This
that
is a
was Jose
spoiler
telling us to be
podcast.
quiet. Hey, Scott, since you're talking, you want to jump in and say hi?
I'll pass it to Shelby. No, hi everyone. My name is Scott Mazzapica. I played Charlie in the film. I make it to at least the last 15 minutes.
I
At
didn't
least.
And he
say
loves
that.
cake.
Yeah, adores it actually.
Notoriously.
Theo,
Okay.
do you want to
Popcorn,
Shelby already did it.
I had
Shelby
no
already did
idea
it.
you're gonna choose me.
That's
Hi, I'm
crazy.
Shelby. I play Astrid, and I die the first 5 minutes, so.
Get out. Stop saying these things. This is not true.
Yeah, I'll go. Hey, my name is Theo. I play Brad, and I honestly don't know what happens to my character.
He had no clue the whole time.
No, I was blacked out the entire filming process.
Is that satire?
Yes,
I was like, wait,
please.
I took notes on this.
Satire logo.
Oh, yeah. Insert satire overlay. And finally, Kylie, take a moment and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Kylie Roseanne, and I played that bitch Fiona, and my job was bitch.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, Kylie, your character and I did similar things. I cheat on my diet. You, in the movie, did a little bit of extracurricular activities, too.
Yeah, I just exploring my interests.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm glad that your sins were cleansed in the movie. Let's call it that.
I feel I can't really say much.
Yeah, we're under verbal NDA.
I think it's all broken by now,
It
unfortunately.
feels like it, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's out. If you've seen this, this won't be out for like a minute, right? I hope. We're doing so well with people we've never met for first timers. We're usually like more prepared, but we just make it fun on this podcast. I do want to start us off, and this is a question for the group, of course. During the reading of the script, what was the overall reaction to the story? What scene was the one that you were excited to either be a part of, or the scene that you were most excited to see on screen?
Can we talk about spoilers? No.
I would prefer you don't, but
Yeah, I didn't think so. Then I can't really answer the question.
Can you say anything that alludes to something without using verbiage? There are so many ways to answer a question media trainingly wise. That's a word.
Oh, I've had no media training. That's the problem. Somebody else go.
Okay. I mean,
I
anytime
personally really, I just in general look forward to the scene early on where, because I think it might have been the only scene where all of the friends and Darcy are together around the pool outside. That one just felt really fun during the table read because we were all just kind of grooving off of each other and feeling each other's vibes. And then once we got there on the day, that was one of the first scenes that we filmed. And it was fun. There were always planes flying overhead while we were filming too, so we all kind of got to bond in that sense of like, golly, like to be near Burbank, am I right? But it kind of lives up to the hype for me.
That's how you got those aerial shots. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, whenever I get a script from Jose, I know it's going to be fun. Like, and that's just it. Like from the drop, like we started reading the script and we all were having a great time around the table. You know, like Kylie, I don't want to give away any spoilers, so I'm not going to say which scenes are my favorite necessarily. But in general, you know, Jose writes really fun characters. He keeps you guessing throughout the film, and at the end of it, you leave the theater being like, not only was that kind of surprising, but I had a great time. So yeah, I mean,
Absolutely. Absolutely. That ending plot twist, I was like, "Huh, hmm, okay, it's different."
Maybe we could do a spoiler section at the end,
there you go.
something like that.
Mhm,
We're really
mhm.
struggling right now.
We're
Come
re honestly,
on.
we're
Yeah, we're
we're
struggling.
fighting tooth and nail, Jose.
Struggling.
I have
Um,
so many questions.
yeah. Guys, just tiptoe around it. I was really excited to film anything stunt related, which there's quite a bit of that. And reading the script, I've always wanted to do like an eerie, spooky, like uncanny kind of horror. So that was exciting when I read the script. But yeah, anything like physical or with stunts, that was what I was most excited for and most excited to see play out on the screen.
Was there a favorite stunt of yours that you did?
Let me spoil it. No, I'm kidding.
You could just say yes, and we can move.
Anything that Adam helped with, because Adam was our guy, was our stunt guy. So he helped with all the stunts. So all of them.
So everything. I love it. Theo, what about you?
Most of mine involves spoilers, but I'll try my best. I know we're saying that a lot. I think for me, once I got to know all these fine actors, I was really excited to explore a couple of the relationships, especially a couple of the relationships my character has. Wink, wink. Not gonna
Mm,
say what's going on there.
mhm,
Uh,
mhm.
this is lots of really good we're giving you a lot, you know? But in hindsight, after watching the movie I'll give you something. After watching the movie, in hindsight, I think there's a scene at the end, that's a party scene because it's Shelby's character's birthday, and there's a lot of really great moments with Scott and with Sarah, who's not here today, and Shelby. So that's a scene you should really look to.
We're actually gonna link the entire movie for free for everyone to I'm just kidding. Just
Hey, we
That's
already
the
got
last time
paid.
I appear on this show.
that is the last time Jose picks me up and takes me to
Mhm.
a cafe to talk about anything ever.
But hey, that's right. That's right, man. You know, we had a lovely breakfast with Scott.
Yeah.
Just
They
a
came to
handful
my
of months
diner
ago.
where I
That was
work.
nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was cool
Mhm.
to see Jose and Scott in person. Were you working on Morgan at that time?
It was wrapped at that point.
The script was, right?
No, the movie
Or
was shot already.
my
Wait, was
bad.
it?
I saw you in
I don't
I think
remember.
December.
so.
Scott, do you remember? Was that between Heretics and Doll or after Doll?
I'm fairly certain
It was
that
at
it
bit.
was post wrap. Yeah.
Heretics
Okay.
had
No, I think
just come out. Like, Heretics had come out, like, not a couple of weeks prior to me seeing you.
we had already filmed everything at that time.
For Doll.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I don't remember when things happened. I just know that they did.
Really glad we nailed that down, guys.
Yeah.
No spoilers there
When
because I
did
don't think
things
anyone
happen?
Yeah,
no one
that,
knew
yeah,
what was
I like that
happening.
conversation because nothing get no. I mean, it's like we're talking about a Shyamalan movie or something. I mean, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to tiptoe around things.
No, for sure. Well, I that kind of leads me to a question, and I know Jose, from your vast experience being on this podcast, I am a fiend for timelines. I love like timeline of events. So, from idea to pre-pro to filming to wrap, what did that timeline look like? And that could also be for the actors too, from casting to being involved in everything too.
Well, in terms of making the film, I mean, if you want the expanded timeline, this story's been in my head for about 2 years.
Chill.
But when it came to like, okay, here's a green light, go make this story, that was maybe about 2 months of writing, and then production was 6 days, and then we shot that in
6
November,
days.
right? Was it November? Kind of feel like it's November,
November.
right? Okay, so we shot in November, and then we had a super long post because for some reason my script was the only one that was ready to go. So okay, well you can shoot now, but your movie's not coming out until June. So we had a really long post window, and it's out. But there was a time in January, February when we were working on it nonstop, and then there was a pause where I started to work on something else, and then restarted again in like late April, early May for the last round of post and sound and all that good stuff. So, it was a longer window than normal, certainly longer than something like Heretics. But it's the same old story. You write the script, you find great actors, and you make the thing, and then you put it out. And I'm just honored to have worked with this cast. I could not have told this story without these amazing actors. So they were crucial. Now they can speak about the casting process.
Yeah, tell it. Spill the tea.
I don't really remember the exact timeline. I think that you approached me maybe like a few weeks before production started, maybe, or maybe
Earlier
I'm
than that, it was when I hadn't even written it yet, and I go, are you an actor? Would you consider doing something? And then I sent you the script when it was written. So
okay.
you and Bix were like the first two to read it.
Okay, right. Then we did like before we were officially cast, at least with the girls, we did maybe like a week of kind of table reading and like sort of finding chemistry and stuff. Is that right, Shelby?
Yeah, it was like a week of pre-pro, I think, once we got cast.
Yeah. And then Scott joined us for one of those sessions. Then we had a big table read like a couple days before we were on set, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, it's a
And
blur
that's
for
all at
most
the
of us.
same time that Brad was going to be British, and I feel like we don't talk about that enough.
We don't
Yeah,
when he
you
was
know,
gonna be
I
Chauncey.
was going to
Wait,
bring
wait,
that
what?
up actually.
We don't talk about
Yeah.
British Theo, British Brad.
British
That
Brad, tell me
is so
more.
true.
Well, at a certain point, the producer was like, "Well, Brad has to be British, of course. Obviously, it makes so much sense."
Well, because they thought you were British.
No,
Well, I
so
guess they thought I was British. Yeah,
They
what
thought he was
happened
British.
was we couldn't find a Brad that they liked. We went through like a lot of tapes and it was like all these Brads aren't clicking. And then the head producer was like, I know, get me that British kid from that Witch Hunters movie. And I was like, I don't what British kid? I don't know. So we had to luckily my line producer was the line producer of that show. And they're like, "Oh yeah, Theo." So that's how Theo got cast, and he shows up at the reading, and I'm telling the ladies, "Oh yeah, so Brad's gonna be a Harry Potter, and we're calling him a British lad and all this stuff." And then he comes in, and is like, "Hey man, what's up?" I'm like, "What the fuck? You're not British? What's going on right now?" He goes, "British? No, no, I don't have a British accent." And then it became literally a like 2-hour conversation with the producer. Like, dude, he's not British. Let him do his American accent. And that's what I mean. His regular voice. And there you go. That's the Brad was British. But we tried it a little bit during the read. And would you give us a taste, Theo?
Yeah, sample.
yeah. Cheerio. Brad waits for no one.
I don't think this would have had the same effect.
You don't think
No.
so?
You're right, it's
No.
too sexy. It's
It's-
too
don't think
sexy. Like you
it's
can't.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I feel like Darcy would have been like, "Yeah, I'm not coming after you."
Brad would have
Maybe
had no chance.
something else would happen.
Maybe, who knows? Hey now, hey now. I don't want to sing that too much before we get like an FTC complaint.
I just love that I thought Theo was British for like multiple days leading up to meeting him. Like I
We all
literally
did.
thought this kid was like I was like he's British for
Yeah,
like
can't wait
That's
to
crazy.
meet this random British guy.
yeah. I was so
Was
stoked for your accent, bro.
Yeah, on the level of 1 to 10, how disappointed were y'all?
I was happy personally.
were you all expecting him at like 4 p.m. to be like, "All right, it's tea time, bitches. Like, gotta go."
I thought he was gonna have like a little scar on his forehead, and
I've met someone who did have that.
really.
Yeah, it was a lion, and he killed his brother in a
Wait,
valley.
what? What?
Go her.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And
All
yeah.
right. Anyway,
Adam, how was the casting process for you?
I had done a movie with Jose called Monster Mash. Bix was in that too, where I played the mummy. Jose was like, "Hey, can you play a cop? Because we gotta shoot this in about a week, and we don't have a cop." And here I am.
That's amazing.
Was that pretty accurate, Rose?
yeah, that's kind of how
I'm
it
starting
works.
to get a theme, Jose. We're starting to kind of pick up how this works with you.
I like good stable of actors that I can count on and call upon when need be. And Adam, he impressed me so much. He was in prosthetic makeup. It took what like 2 hours to put on the mummy thing, and he was in that all day. He never complained. He was always ready. I was just so impressed by him, and always wanted to put him in something else. And luckily, he was available to be the Law and Order of the film.
The
Thank you,
law and
buddy.
order of the film. Love that. Thank you so much for, I mean, unwrapping the mummy and wrapping up the law. Like that, you are just multi hyphenate. That is
He's great.
sheer talent. I do want to ask about some practical and special effects, and we're going to do this without spoilers. I know Chrissy and I were both kind of like huh? When we were watching this happen, but like, there's a scene in this film that involves the element of fire. We'll call it fire. The unanimous head nod tells me how much of that was practical, how much of that was special effects, how, like, was there in fact a very particular, like, practical effect in the middle of the fire, like the shadow silhouette gives away, like, I'm trying not to, like, I'm really trying to, like, Shelby and I as like dancers, we're trying to tap dance around getting into like the specifics of these things.
I'm trying to find a picture, but so just to make it short, yes, there was a practical fire. It was a big deal for me to get a practical one, but the practical fire didn't look as good. So it's a mix. We do have some CG fire for the wide, but most of the fire you see is real.
And it's a big fire.
It was. It really was. Yeah.
How like how do you even light something like was there a lot of like
We built my friend Fabio's a production designer. He built
My.
the body, and we put like lighter fluid soaked rags on it. Then we just kind of lit it with a stick, and
my
we said
gosh.
roll them, and there you go.
It was nuts. I shot the BTS for that. I got a couple cool pictures of that actually, and it went up so fast because Jose had been talking about, oh, we want a shot from back here. We want a close up. We want, so let's try to get these three or so. And it just whoosh, like kind of scary. But so there was time for Camilo, our DP, who is so fantastic, to kind of just like run back and forth a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, before they're like, put it out, but at least they let me do my fire shot for a little bit.
get your fire shot and your fire shot? Sorry, that was
Yeah,
lame.
I
Throws
appreciated it.
tomatoes. No, that was one of
I thought
the
it was
shots.
great.
No.
Oh, I love this group so much. Scott, never change. Never ever change who you are unless you have to play a character that's different
Go
from the
ahead.
actual person that you were born to be. Like, don't
Yes.
ever
So this is
change
for
who
all
you
the
are.
actors. So there's a lot of elements to this
Chrissy,
film. You got the
I
lovers,
think you might.
the
I'm gonna
friends,
take
the
a
psycho doll that
water
kills
sip.
people while
Chrissy's
there's
got a
stuff happening
cute question for
downstairs.
y'all.
What was the process like for you guys getting into that space of your character?
Okay.
I feel like I was just kind of goofing around a lot of the time, but that's my character was a bit of a different case for than the rest of them. But yeah, I just got to go up to Jose and with funny ideas.
Love.
Scott looking me directly in the eyes and going, surprise! That's what got me into character.
Yeah,
That's the party scene. He has this I don't even think it's in the movie, but he has this beautiful, I walk and he goes, surprise! And it's like the biggest, it was great. I wish it made the cut. For me, God,
It's
I don't
in
know.
there. It is in there.
Is it?
Yep.
Okay.
well, the big
Good.
surprise, what had happened on the first take was that it wasn't that I was looking right at you. I jumped up from behind the couch and looked directly down the barrel of the camera because I didn't know where it was placed,
Oh, that's not in
thinking it
there.
was Shelby. But no, that
Scott used to
thankfully
break
didn't
the
make.
fourth wall.
Yeah.
It was an artistic choice. It was
I did that once too. You're not alone.
great.
Thank you.
I think Astrid is she's a really complex human. And I think in this movie, you see her growing a lot as a person. And she is, through the matter of like a couple of days, she's going through like roller coasters of like her brain is like changing. Like the chemicals in her brain are like, she's going through so much change and she's tackling all of this grief and then handling her friends and her dad and her family and school and all of this stuff. And I think what really helped me get in that headspace, I had multiple moments where I kind of just needed to like be in a room by myself and just kind of sit with my thoughts. Alex, who isn't here, but she's incredible and an amazing scene partner. And anytime I had a scene with her, it was just so easy to feed off of each other's energy. It was just like that. But everybody here is just so incredibly talented, and I think we all bonded super well. And anytime we all got to act with each other, I think it was just a natural flow of dynamics that all of our characters have. It was a pleasure working with everyone. I love everyone here.
What?
Oh my gosh.
Anyone else want to chime in about their character and development?
I'll go.
Oh, you go,
Um,
Theo.
okay.
Yes, British Brad.
Yeah, sure. Speaking in British accent right now. I think with a character like Brad, who is often a very hateable character, you want to find moments where you can show that this person is still like human, right? So there's a couple moments in the film I feel like I tried to incorporate where it's like, oh yeah, no, there is a little complexity um here rather than just like, oh, like it's Brad. And there is a lot of that stuff for sure, but there is a lot of that stuff. But I think you want to, especially when you're playing a character like this, like try to find some moments where, you can show the human part of them. So that's kind of what I kind of came at this with, I feel like.
And real briefly for Brad's character, there's stuff that him and I talked about that nobody else knows. We did a full psychological breakdown of Brad and why he does the things he does. And I think it was really nice to sort of be in on the hidden meat. That sounds weird. To be in on the hidden wavelength of Brad as a character. Yeah, and so I loved really working with Theo on that because yeah, you're right. He's a hateable character, but at the same time, you don't want to have a hateable character. You have a character that you love to hate. Then you're okay. Then you can do anything. And I think we achieved that with Brad. Hopefully, people think that anyway.
Absolutely. And thank you for referring it to hidden meat because I too watch drag shows. Oh, thank you. Absolutely.
Yep.
Adam, what about you?
I was muted, but that deserved a good laugh.
I think 2 seconds ago you were like, I really liked it, Jose, and now you're muted. That's crazy. That's
He still
crazy.
likes it. He still likes it.
It's always fun to play a cop in a horror movie just because, it's oftentimes the cop's responsibility to, like, at times exposition dump a little bit, let everybody know kind of some of the pre-existing conditions of the movie and the characters. And so especially when I have a scene with another actress in the film right after a major event where I get to be like, "Oh, by the way, audience, this is all of this that you need to know." And so it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. And of course, I get to do some action, which I always love doing. So yeah, like getting into that character it was kind of just like it's a weird mix of I know what's going on and then I don't know what's going on. So it's just, kind of that weird juxtaposition.
Me in class. Yeah.
Yep.
Love that. Kylie, tell us a little bit about your character development process.
So I have described her as like if Wednesday Adams was kind of a loser. And it's because I think to Theo's point, when you're playing the character, you have to find your own empathy for them to like get into their headspace, even if they're the worst character ever. It's like I have such a soft spot for Fiona because Jose, I'm curious your thoughts on this too, because I was thinking that she operated out of not just self interest, but kind of out of insecurity. But also getting into her headspace was really fun because you know how, like, when you're a little kid, you don't have that much of a filter. You'll be in the grocery store and you're like, Mom, why is that lady's forehead so big or something? And so, like, it was just like, I get to like turn off the filter part of my brain for this dialogue. It actually was like, came very easily and naturally to me, like, not necessarily to be mean, but, like, just to, not sugarcoat things was actually, like, very liberating. So, yeah, I just had so much fun playing Fiona.
Yeah, I think insecurity is the right way to describe that character. I think that's really deep down who she is. She just kind of she lashes out because she's insecure and she does things. She says things because she wants to. Maybe there's a little something of the spectrum in her. We don't know. We don't know. Maybe we'll explore it down the line.
That's so maybe it's a little bit of this. Like, that was great. I love that so much. Honestly, because me
It
too.
happens.
Like, yeah, we're at some point, Kylie, do you think as adults we're supposed to develop a filter? Because even I still, as a 34-year-old male, I'm like, why is that person's forehead so large? Then I realize
Yeah,
it's a reflection, but
yeah, it's something that I apparently still have trouble with because I'll, like, say things and it ends up shocking people, or my mom will be like, "Kylie." So, I think we're supposed to, like, engage in civilized society. I think that we all, though, like, can tend to struggle with it a little bit, I hope. I don't know, man.
I wanted to okay, this is a tough question to ask, and it's more so for everyone else in terms of like perception. And Jose, I want your take on this, and we're gonna try to make this as non-spoiled as possible. But like backstory on
It gives me
Darcy,
religious trauma.
like Is it
Misfits party. Are you kidding me?
is it Scientology? Is it the occult?
What?
Is it escaping Diddy's parties?
Scientology.
Like, is she running from the trial? Like, what? Because
I mean, Darcy's
I was
backstory is it's in the movie. Actually, Harry's the one who says the entire thing. So I don't know what else I could say except watch the movie again, but not Scientology based. No.
I love that. Thank you for clearing that up. That was also a plug. Ladies and gents, this movie's on VOD.
Yes, it
And
is.
it's coming out
available
to
now.
theaters on June 20th. 20th? I
That's
said
right.
that correctly. Absolutely.
Okay.
Chrissy, do you
All
want
right.
to do you want to
Yeah,
ask
the
them
only
some
question
smart
that
friend-based questions?
I have is it's
She's
during the
without
party and
giving a
there's a
single
dead
thing
body in
away,
the
mind
bathroom
you.
and no one sees it. It's kind of like whenever we had was like the house that never ended for your heretics, but there's a bathroom scene upstairs where like the party's going on, but no one saw the dead body essentially in the bathroom that's in the hallway that goes towards the room.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
But how many bathrooms are in that house?
700
I can't. I can't answer that question because it's a spoiler question, but I can say the location we had was limiting and we couldn't necessarily pay things off like they were paid off in the script. We were severely limited, and
Nina's like, well, what did I watch?
that situation that you mentioned, they don't happen at the same time.
How did
all
everyone
I'll say.
feel about the doll
And we can talk off air.
as she sits
we can
behind
talk off
Jose
air.
right now?
Okay.
Gosh.
Yeah, what was the reaction when you saw her?
The reaction.
As she sits behind Jose, no, Jose, put it away.
I don't know if I remember my reaction because I remember we went through. I know that there was a lot of trial and error with getting it to what Jose wanted it to look like, but all I remember is Vix scaring the shit out of me on set multiple times. Not even on purpose, because she would just be like laying down and like something would move or so I don't know. It just would fucking scare me because I would think it's like a real person or like I would think it was someone else, and then it was traumatizing. It was traumatizing. It was just scarier on set when you're like working and you turn a corner and you're like, what the fuck is that? You're like, no.
Yeah, because the art department would move it like unexpectedly. So you would go into a room and like it's there and it's human sized. So because I'm such a horror nut, obviously, like I don't get scared that easily in person. Like I like going to haunts and stuff too. So I was actually surprised that I ended up getting spooked by the doll so many times, like thinking it was actually a person unexpectedly in a room or something. So that was fun.
Scott, what was your
To
reaction?
go get a snack from Crafty once, and it was just at that table, so I kind of got spooked then. But other than that,
Did you still eat your snack?
no, they were all out of what I wanted.
It's the damn doll, I'm telling you.
I'm pretty sure she took it.
She was like, he's coming here to get these cheese ends, like, and now I'm gonna take
That's precisely what it was.
Knew it. Theo, Adam, what was your reaction to seeing the doll?
You know, the doll and I actually have a really contentious relationship, and we're never on set at the same time because otherwise
So what
there's
you're
a lot
saying
of
is,
Yeah,
you
there's a
went
lot of
from
hatred.
mummy to potentially a doll. Got it.
Look, it's one of those things where you're in Hollywood, animosity flares up, and I just think the doll and I we don't have a good working relationship, and
There you go.
I blame myself partially. We shouldn't have dated for so long. That was on me. I should have walked away sooner, but
They had creative differences.
exactly.
I think it sounds like, Adam, you were looking for something, for lack of a better word, real.
Thank you, and that's hard to find out here. You know,
Does it make you uncomfortable that she's on this call behind Jose?
you notice how she hasn't said anything. I'm
Yeah,
just gonna
because
say.
silence
word.
is an answer. Silence
Mhm.
is an
She's
answer.
listening to
alright?
everything.
Yeah, I know.
She's gonna
yeah,
find
we
you
know.
tonight.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh,
She's coming.
that's insane. Theo, what did you think of the doll?
I think I went, uh-oh. Like the first time I saw it, I was like, oh.
Good reaction.
Such an understated British reaction, Theo. Just so British of you. I don't.
Oh my! Oh goodness gracious! No, that's not British.
You
Oh,
didn't
biscuits.
Theo, you didn't walk on set and just be like, oh look, it's a doll, isn't it? Like nothing.
What? You what?
That's insane. Oh my gosh. I'm sure there was a
God.
lot of like Did anyone plant the doll anywhere at all to specifically try to scare someone? Like, was there any of that kind of going? I know the art department, Kylie, you had mentioned like would move it, but did anyone ever try on the costume or move the doll to scare another person? Was there any of that going
No,
on?
man, nobody's got time for that shit. We got a movie to make. We got 6 fucking days to make a movie. We don't got time to fuck around.
I feel
There's
like my
no
dad
time.
just
I
talked to me when
wanted
he said
to.
that.
Look, I would have, I would have been the first person to try and scare people with it, but it was just, it's stressful enough as it is, and you don't wanna be the one messing around when everyone's trying to focus and, stay in character and be emotional, like, "Ho, ho, ho, look at this doll," you know? So you have to try and stay focused, and if they got scared, if they're getting snacks, then great, then that's just fallout, just a benefit of the doll
Yeah,
being creepy, but yeah, we did not have the time to get, bloopers. Maybe for the sequel, we'll get some more bloopers.
a sequel.
You did scare me with it unintentionally actually when we wrapped because I think you texted us afterwards. You kinda did an Irish exit and took the doll with you, and you were like,
Mm.
"She wanted to leave in silence," or something. She whispered to me or
Yeah,
something.
it's the weirdest thing. I felt really connected to this movie in a very strange way. When we wrapped, I had picked up the doll, and it was the doll just that sounds fucking weird. The doll's like, "Just go. I need to go." And so I took her home, and she's been with me since she came to the premiere, though, so she's cool with everybody. But she just needed to leave.
Love that.
But yeah, she'll stay with me until my wife burns it or throws it in the trash. Hopefully for a little bit longer anyway.
Or unless she visits Adam at his house.
Or that, she goes to Adam's, yeah, moves in.
By the way, if the doll is listening, Adam lives at 14. I'm kidding.
Not the doll causing marital
Again, Adam said no because he
Sequel.
wanted something real. I'm just trying to listen. We have a police in this interview. We might as well have a therapist. You know what I mean?
She was busy.
She was, and on that note, I want to ask you, Jose, how did you come up with the name Morgan? Was that like particular to something? Is it an anagram? Is it like,
Yeah, well, it's not an anagram.
is it more organs? Because that's what we see. Because like internal
No, I
organs.
have a great-grandmother named Morgan, and she used to collect dolls. No, I'm fucking with you.
I would have gone with that line. You should have kept up with that. Damn it.
I don't like to lie about this. I'm gonna be transparent. It was a studio decision to
Mm.
title the movie Morgan. The movie that I wrote was just called Killer Doll, and believe it or not, there has never existed a movie called Killer Doll. So I said, "Great, this is great. People are gonna come and they'll enjoy a Killer Doll movie." They wanted to add the Morgan to the movie for tie-in purposes for Megan. That is the reality of it, and I hope it doesn't hurt our movie because it's so different from what Megan is. I love that franchise, but ours is very different, and I just want people to give it a shot, and hopefully the name doesn't stand in the way.
Yeah. I loved it. I
Yes. What
personally
is
really
something you
enjoyed it.
learned from
Chrissy
this
and I were
particular
texting each other,
production
like, it was
experience that you'll be
very,
taking with
very
you to
well
your
done.
next one?
Very
Thank
well
you.
done. I think, Chrissy, you got something you wanna talk to them about?
Hmm. Um, one of the
It's for
cast can go.
everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
Kylie, you want to? There you go. Go ahead.
yeah, I think anytime I work on so we worked on Monster Mash, and that shoot was 12 days, I think, maybe 10. And then this
6.
one
What are you
was it
talking
6?
about? Yeah, dude. It
Monster
Monster
Mash
Mash
felt
was
for 6
6?
days?
it felt like a month, but it was 6 days. It was 6
But anyway,
days.
so okay, well then regardless, Monster Mash was 6 days, this was 6 days. The expedited speed at which you've gotta move, like, you gotta make choices, you gotta be off book, you gotta be ready to go, we don't have time to mess around. Like, yes, there are several moments in this movie that are funny, and, like Scott was saying earlier, like, sometimes you come up with something fun in the moment, so you wanna give those creative opportunities to those moments. So, the rest of it, like, let's go. And I think it's a great lesson in terms of film production where time is money. So, I mean, that for me
Period.
is one of the things that I will take away.
That point, it definitely taught me to, like, get out of my head, because I'm not really an actress, so I had a lot of anxiety about doing this with people that, a lot of our cast, like, have agents, and they do this full time and everything, so I just learned to, like, just, ditch the ego and, like, just do it, because there was no choice. You have to be a one-take wonder for a lot of really challenging stuff sometimes. I'll take that and the knowledge that, like, I can do it, so that was
Absolutely.
cool
And you
to
did
learn.
it.
Whether or not the acting is good, that is all on you. You guys can decide for yourselves, but I can get in front of the camera and try, so I'll take that.
You were beautiful. You did
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I think I really learned how to keep myself grounded and focused on this set because there was a lot of like I don't want to use the term chaos 'cause it wasn't a chaotic set, but obviously in this 6-day turnaround you're moving pretty quickly and you don't get a lot of opportunity to like go back and do something again. So kind of like what Kylie was saying, it's really important that you're on your game when you get started and you stay focused and you know your stuff. So even in an environment that you're not sure exactly what's happening 100% of the time, knowing what your job is. So I learned that was my biggest lesson from this one.
Beautiful.
Yeah, kind of. I feel like I'm kind of saying what Scott, Adam, and Kylie are saying, but yeah, shooting a whole film in 6 days is insane, and it's a lot, and you need to just be prepared for like. I mean, we had multiple moments where it was like we're setting up for this scene, but then something would happen, and it's like, okay, well, we can't shoot this yet anymore, so now switch your whole mindset. Now we're shooting this thing, and so it's kind of just you have to be on your toes all the time. And it definitely, like, strengthened a lot of muscles for just, like, being ready to do anything at any point, and kind of going off of what Kylie was saying, like, I'm a chronic overthinker, and so I do well in, like, chaotic like, I do really good under pressure, like, I prefer that because then I'm not thinking as much and in my head, so I think that was definitely helpful, was to just not just you just have to do your job and, and hope for the best.
Theo, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I mean, everyone is kind of saying the same thing, so I'm gonna like upvote everything everything that everyone said. Heart. Yeah, just having the confidence in your choices, and yeah, you only get one take, and it's so, that's what's gonna be used for most part. And also, horror movies are fun to shoot is my
Period.
lesson. Period.
We try to make them fun. In terms of what I learned, I go back to Heretics, which you guys know very well. That was such a learning experience from a directing standpoint about seeing actors bond and becoming other people. And we did as much as we could on this movie. I'm working on one. Actually, we start shooting tomorrow, where the cast hasn't actually even really met in person yet. I'm going to spend a good chunk of tomorrow working on who they are as people, and I've talked to them individually about it, and so they all sort of have an idea. They all have puzzle pieces. We're going to bring the puzzle together because it's so important for them to look like they have existed in each other's lives. And we try to do that in Killer Doll, where these characters actually feel like they're friends and they've hung out and they know each other, and there's a history there. There's a movie before the movie. Whether they continue after the movie, you'll have to wait and see. But it's so crucial to me that a cast feels like human beings and not people just standing around to say lines. So that's something that was really hammered home in this one. I felt I think emotionally it was so strong and so genuine, and I just want to continue with that approach because I think that's the way to do it on a 6-day movie. Actors are scrambling to learn lines. They're blocking all this stuff, and it's so easy to forget. Connections with the other actors as characters. So that's something I'm definitely going to um uh latch onto and use as one of the little tools in my toolbox when it comes to putting together a cast, because I love ensembles. So I'm always going to be doing big groups of people. And I'm just going to continue to perfect that formula of making the perfect bunch of kids, the perfect kids in the van movie. That's eventually going to be my goal. And they'll put that on my tombstone. Defined the kids in the van movie. I can live
Jose.
with that.
Wonderful. Oh, thank you all so much. Thank you for taking time out of your busy day, your busy schedules to join us and
Thank
allow us
you.
to interview you and give us the opportunity to see the movie. It's really freaking dope. Like, literally, so many cool things happen in this movie. Twists that keep you going until the end, for sure. Absolutely that.
This is probably one of my favorite Killer Doll movies.
Yeah. I'm happy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you all so much for joining us. Morgan Killer Doll, written and directed by Jose Prendez, is now available on video on demand and hits theaters June 20th. Thank you so much to Jose and the wonderful cast for joining us today on Paranormal Misfits podcast. Listen, guys, we know you don't want to go home, but since you have to leave, you might as well creep out. Bye.